one natural resource provides 30% of all groundwater irrigation in the U.S., occupies 174,000 square miles of the American Midwest, and covers 11% of Texas state land, the Ogallala Aquifer. However, the Ogallala Aquifer is being depleted, and at a very fast rate, too. Hi, I'm Ben Lamont from Grimes County 4-H, and today I'm going to talk to you about the aquifer's importance to Texas and the U.S., its rapid decrease in volume, and what we're doing to stop it. Millions of Americans depend on the Ogallala Aquifer for water. The Ogallala Aquifer is a crucial natural resource, not only to Texas, but to the entire U.S. as well. That is why it is my hope that by talking about the aquifer at 4-H and other public speaking events, I may be able to spread awareness about the aquifer's current status. This brings me to my first point, the Ogallala Aquifer's importance to Texas and the U.S. So first off, what is an aquifer? Well, an aquifer is an underground layer of rock that has been saturated with water. This water can be brought to the surface via wells or through natural springs. Aquifers are an important natural resource in Texas. 60% of all fresh water in Texas is groundwater. Texas has 23 aquifers in it that cover about 75% of the state. 7 of these aquifers are major aquifers, while the other 16 are all minor aquifers. However, even with 23 aquifers in it, 90% of all aquifer water in Texas comes from the Ogallala Aquifer. The Ogallala Aquifer is on average 112 feet deep in Texas, with a range of 300 to 500 feet deep. The aquifer extends from South Dakota to the southern regions of the Texas Panhandle. It passes through the states of South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. Farmers first started pumping water from the aquifer at a very minimal rate in the early 20th century in order to irrigate their crops. However, due to a series of droughts and the famous Dust Bowl storms of the 1930s, farmers started to leave the fertile land. In an attempt to keep farmers on this land, the government started subsidizing irrigation projects. Soon, large tracts of land depended on the Ogallala Aquifer for water. Water continued to be pumped more and more from the aquifer, and by 1980, 1/5 of all U.S. irrigated land depended on the Ogallala Aquifer. Today, there are 170,000 wells that pump water from the aquifer, and over 50,000 of these wells are in northwest Texas alone. The Ogallala Aquifer is responsible for $20 billion a year in production of foods and fibers, and thanks to the aquifer, Texas can produce 2 million more bales of cotton each year than before using the aquifer. The Texas High Plains, which relies heavily on the aquifer, is responsible for 34% of Texas' total state cropland and 69% of Texas' total state irrigated cropland. Texas, as well as the U.S., rely heavily on the Ogallala Aquifer for water. This brings me to my second point. The Ogallala Aquifer is being depleted, and at an alarmingly rapid rate, too. Due to communities and farmers using more water than precipitation can replenish, the Ogallala Aquifer has been shrinking, and very quickly. Since 1950, the Ogallala Aquifer has lost 9% of its water. A 2007 projection said that the Ogallala Aquifer would lose 52% of its water between 2010 and 2060. Some wells have already dried up in northwest Texas and Kansas, and in other areas, the water level has dropped by as much as 300 feet. At this rate of depletion, the outlook for the Ogallala Aquifer is very bleak. If the aquifer ever does run out of water, which at this rate it will, the Great Plains will suffer a second Dust Bowl. Droughts will plague the plains, and one of the U.S.'s largest sources of crops and livestock will disappear, crippling the U.S. economy, and thousands of farmers will lose their job. But that's not even the worst part. According to the Scientific American Journal, if the Ogallala Aquifer ever does run out of water, it will take over 6,000 years to replenish. This brings me to my third point. What are we doing to stop the Ogallala Aquifer from drying up? Many people and communities have seen the potential disaster of a drained Ogallala Aquifer, and they have decided to take action. In 2005, the North Plains Groundwater Conservation District in Texas created an annual pumping limit of 24 inches per acre. In 2012, this number was lowered to 18 inches per acre annually. These restrictions were made in order to fit in with the state mandate, which created a 50-year water plan for each individual groundwater conservation district. By decreasing our water usage, as many states are doing, we should be able to at least slow the rate of depletion. However, just slowing the rate of depletion isn't good enough, which is why many individual farmers have decided to further take matters into their own hands. Some farmers in Texas are using lowered irrigation systems in order to waste less water. Also, farmers have realized that the less you disturb soil and the more grass is in your pastures, less water seeps past the plants and is wasted. The key is to create a natural environment by planting grasses native to your area and disturbing the soil as little as possible. Several organizations, such as No-Till Texas, have been created to inform farmers on the most efficient way to maintain their farms while using the least amount of water possible. By practicing individual water conservation methods, as many farms are doing, some farmers have been able to recharge their wells and in some cases even raise the level of the aquifer in their area. The Ogallala Aquifer is the key natural resource to the American Midwest, America's breadbasket. If the Ogallala Aquifer ever does run out of water, the American Midwest will become a dry, desolate land, and the U.S. will lose a very valuable source of agriculture. The Ogallala Aquifer is a crucial natural resource, not only to Texas, but to the entire U.S. as well. And that is why we must do everything we can to save it. Thank you.